genuinely ask yourself, how many cryptids do you think you could beat up?
Because let me tell you, I ask myself the same question every night. And I finally decided to just do the research and figure out what is the most effective way to kill every cryptid. I've broken down their strengths, their weaknesses, and I've become a killing machine. Now then, what is the best way to kill these cryptids? If you want a quick answer, it's
With a gun, because objectively a gun.
It's very effective at killing anything, and honestly, because I cannot afford the luxury of a gun,
I don't know how to show that it's not real.
I'm using anything I can find in my house as a weapon.
I'm gonna go through about 4 cryptids because, well, there's too many. And a lot of them really are just the same cryptid, reskinned for a different area or just have slightly different variations to it. And I don't want to go through all of that.
So first up, it's Bigfoot.
I would have a very difficult time beating it up purely based on the fact that I am a very short man. I am 5'4", and Bigfoot typically is known to be around 6 to 9 feet tall. There's no chance in hell me, weighing at about 150 pounds, can beat up a creature that weighs around 300 pounds at least.
But Bigfoot has 2 weaknesses. It's dumb and it's hairy.
Bigfoot is so dumb, you could probably scare him the same way you would a bear, by just
Making yourself as big as possible and just
Rah! I don't have that privilege because both of my parents are like 3 feet tall.
Now then, Bigfoot is a difficult creature to beat up because he's so strong. He's honestly a lot like a gorilla, so for this guy, I can't let him get near me whatsoever. So I would need to use a ranged weapon.
I would need 3 items: alcohol bottles, a towel, and just a simple lighter. Remember when I said that Bigfoot was really hairy?
Well, that also means it's really flammable. And if we're fighting in the woods and I miss him, I can burn up the woods. Honestly, if Bigfoot were real, we've probably already killed him. I mean, remember, Bigfoot lives in California, and California is notoriously known for having a lot of wildfires. We have probably already killed Bigfoot by accident.
And obviously if Bigfoot was in my own home fighting me with the Molotovs, it'd be an even easier situation because yeah, he's gonna have nowhere to run.
But if I miss Bigfoot and set fire to my own house, that's okay.
I'd rather burn all my belongings and be known as the guy that burnt down his entire house just to beat up Bigfoot.
Now then, on to our next cryptid, the Loch Ness Monster.
Well, the way I interpret it, the Loch Ness Monster is just a big dinosaur that has survived the test of time, and if you've seen any of the Jurassic Park movies, you know how difficult it is to beat up any dinosaur, let alone beat a dinosaur that can swim.
So then, what are its strengths?
Well, it's a big fish and it's a fast fish, but its weakness is it can't walk on land.
so in theory, I can just walk away from the fight easily.
And dude, I used to be so naive, I used to think I could beat it up just with a baseball bat.
And then I talked to friends, and they all told me, Miguel, you're an idiot. And you know what? Sometimes I am, because to think I have the chance of beating up a giant dinosaur is just naive.
Like, imagine it this way. Imagine you're swimming and you find the Loch Ness Monster. Immediately, you grab onto it and try stabbing it to death. At that point, it'll just start swimming deep into the water and you'll just be drowning because you're still holding on.
Imagine I'm in the canoe, and as I'm canoeing, the Loch Ness Monster kind of shows up, and he's like, hey Miguel, I don't like you anymore. I'm gonna just...
I think by now you can understand how just horribly wrong this could all go.
Honestly, the only chance I think I have at beating a creature like this is draining the lake, but that's not realistic. So what would I do to kill it? And I need you to hear me out on this. I pollute the lake it's in, because we know exactly where the Loch Ness Monster lies. I mean, it's in the fucking name. So who's to say I can't just start collecting a bunch of gas, collecting all the trash I can and just dumping it into the water? I didn't say I needed to kill it in one afternoon. This would be a week-long journey. We're already doing that with so many animals. We're already polluting all of the oceans. So who's to say I can't do it in a tiny little lake? Now then, for our next cryptid.
Mothman. There's no need to feel down, I said Mothman.
So what are Mothman's strengths? They can fly, which honestly is the only realistic strength I can find. I mean, there's some people that argue that it's able to hop through dimensions, but that's just too out of the realm of reality for me.
So I'm interpreting this creature as literally being a giant moth that has human arms and legs.
And its weakness is big lights and a falling bridge. Because if you don't know, a bridge supposedly exploded and it fell on top of Mothman, and after that instance, Mothman was never seen again. So that's kind of a bitch move, because I feel like Bigfoot would have been able to push his way out of the debris.
And also, its wings can be seen as a weakness, because if you're able to damage its ability to fly, then it just becomes a man.
So then, can I beat it? Yeah, I feel like I have a pretty good chance of beating it, and the only difficulty I would have is that its ability to fly. Have you ever been to a Mexican party and had to hit a piñata? Well, honestly, I think that fighting Mothman would be a lot like that. Imagine having to fight Mothman from the comfort of your own house. It's gonna have nowhere to fucking fly. It's gonna be so easy. It's gonna be hitting your walls like a stupid bitch. I genuinely think that the only struggle you would have with this creature is that it would pick you up by the sleeves of your shirt, pick you up really, really high, and then just drop you really, really far and you'd splat. So then now, I know you're thinking, but Kel, what are you gonna do if Mothman picks you up and drops you from really high? Well, I have made this. It is a wingsuit made out of my bed sheet and a belt. I mean, man, look at this. I still have my mobility. I can still use my belt, my bat, I mean. I can still... And look, I even have it tied to me by belts to ensure that it stays onto me.
A Siberian squirrel. It can glide.
This is so stupid. Look at this. Listen, man, do I really think this is gonna work? No, but I gotta have something, all right? Oh, it slipped off my foot. So in order to beat this guy, I would need to bring him to me. So how am I gonna bring him to me? Well, follow me outside.
It is almost 2 a.m. in the morning. I don't really want to wake any family members up, so I'm probably gonna use voiceover for this.
This is a bush, and this is a lighter. Mothman is a big moth, and what are moths notoriously drawn to? Fire. So the plan is simple. I light this bush on fire. I wait for Mothman to come to me, and as soon as he's close enough, I start beating him to death with this bat, or with this brick, or with this chair. There's a lot of things I could probably beat Mothman up.
I don't have much to say other than I want to get a tattoo of like this design as a tramp stamp, but imagine this. There's like a Denny sign and it's Mothman flying away into the starry night sky. And up next, we have the Fresno Nightcrawlers. And I'm not gonna set it up with a little backstory because honestly, the backstory for this creature is dumb. I mean, some guy in Fresno saw a walking pair of pants on his security cameras. Like, what?
It's literally known within the cryptid community as being a cute little guy.
Like, what else is there to say? I'm not even gonna mention strengths and weaknesses because we both know it doesn't really have any strengths, but it's just made of weaknesses.
So instead, I'm gonna show you this.
And now, a montage on 20 ways to kill the Fresno Nightcrawlers.
Punch it. Slam it. Drown it. Drop it. Hang it. Roll over it. Brick it. Cut it. Boil it. Bleach it. Crucify it. Burn it.
Probably real, I don't know if that was even 20, but I'm sure you can come up with way more ways. And now then, for the next cryptid. The Wendigo is a creature as old as time. Over the years, it has had countless versions of it. Some say that this creature is invincible, others say that it grows more the more it eats.
And there's one version that says that it has antlers of a deer, the jaw of a dog, and with each meal it eats, it grows to unimaginable heights, reaching a sort of immortality.
Obviously, against that version of the creature, I would have no chance. So instead, I'm going to pick a more realistic version, and I'm going to pick the version that is depicted in Until Dawn, because that is more similar to the original version of this creature, and honestly, it's the only version of the creature that I think I have a chance up against.
For the version that I'm fighting against, its strengths are that it's relatively quick, it really wants to eat you, and it can imitate the voice of the person it used to be.
So then, can I beat it? I assume for this fight we're fighting in the woods, and honestly, I am going to really struggle with this guy. I mean, the dude is just way too quick. I'm not juking it. It's gonna juke me. That being said, it is still just a man. A frail man, might I add. And the more you think about it, the more it would be a lot like fighting a crackhead.
Now then, if I'm gonna fight the Wendigo, I'm going to need some armor, because if I don't want it to get close enough to me that it starts biting at me. So I have made this. I know there's a lot of gaps for all of my body, but the point is that it covers at least most of me, and also I don't have enough pans and belts that can cover all of me. And then look, you thought this was just armor? No, this can also be used as a weapon. Now then, through all of my research that I've done, I've found out that fire is an effective means of killing the Wendigo. But for this situation, I can't use a Molotov, because if I throw one and I completely miss, I am as good as dead. So instead, I got this. I have this lighter and this hairspray. If it tries to get anywhere near me, I just... I'm obviously not going to test it, because I'm not going to play with fire like that. I'll probably show other people doing it, because honestly, I am really scared to test this out. You know what I just realized? In all of the videos, I've been going like this. It would work like this.
I mean, I have nothing to say other than fire is just really overpowered. In conclusion, beating up cryptids is hard, but not impossible. Okay, bye.